Greetings, it's Ian from RTO. Welcome to a tier ranking. The time you don't get to know that it's coming. The only time you know there's a tier ranking is when you get the what's on today thing. And today we're going to do Magnum because obviously the new Magnum came out and I've been listening to it and I thought, right, I think I'm in a position to do the tier ranking. So we've got the usual categories: top drawer, excellent, solid, mixed bag, and okay. There's no mares in this ranking because they never really put out a bad album. They're just albums that I refer to others. So let's go back to 1978 when it all started for them. And the album Kingdom of Madness. In the beginning on this, and of course the Kingdom of Madness, I thought it was a very good album, very good start. It's a bit proggy. Yes, it is a bit proggy. You've got the fruit of Richard Bailey. Wonderful stuff. So I'm going to put that one in as a solid album. Okay, move on to 1979, a year later, and out come Magnum 2. The Wonderful Changes is on there. Firebird, All of My Life. Very good album. Play it a lot. Still got the old classic sound of Magnum, and it's a very, very solid album. Is it better than Kingdom of Madness? Yes, it is a little bit. So that can go in there. Up next, we go to 1982. The first album I ever brought by Magnum, and I brought it because of the wonderful colour on the cover, and it's Chase the Dragon. Now on here we have got The Spirit's Sacred Hour, one of my favourite tracks, and The Lights Burned Out. Absolutely amazing album. And it's excellent, eh? So it goes in excellent. Now in 1983 they released another album, and this is the one that people forget about a lot, and it is called The 11th Hour. It's got Vicious Companions on here and The Prize and Hit and Run, which are great tracks. Now I do play this a lot, and I do enjoy it. So it's a very solid album, so he can go in there. No, he can. Oh, I hate it when it does that. So there we go. He goes as a solid album. 1985 next, and out comes their greatest album, On a Storyteller's Night. There are so many good tracks on here, from the title track, How Far Jerusalem, The Morn's Dance On, Straight as an Arrow, Les Morn's Dance On. It's just full of excellent albums. So of course it's number one in the top drawer. Always will be. Next up, 1986. The first time I ever saw Magnum at Milton Keynes Bowl, part of the garden party. Vigilante again, got some great tracks on here. We'll start off with the title track, which is brilliant. It's got When the World Comes Down on here, Holy Rider. It's just full of good albums. Okay, it's a bit commercially sounding, but I still love it. It's got some great keyboards from Mark Stanway, so it's going in the top drawer. Up comes 1987, and what a year for Magnum. The release of this wonderful album, On the Wings of Heaven. Got them onto Top of the Pops with Start Talking Love and Days of No Trust. Wild Swans on here, another great track, and the wonderful Don't Wake the Lion. Saw them twice on this tour. Absolutely brilliant album. Top drawer for me. My second favourite Magnum album. Always will be. I think there's not going to be anything else that will touch that one. Okay, 1990, they've been doing a lot of touring, took a break, and they went to LA to record Goodnight LA. Now, this is an album that I think out of all their albums, it's probably the weakest one, but it does have Rocking Chair on it, which Tony co-wrote with a wonderful Rust ballad. the highlight of the album. The other songs are okay. They're not bad, but they just didn't strike with me. So I'm going to put that in okay. Okay, up next, 1993, they released this acoustic album. The acoustic MTV Unplugged was quite popular, but they didn't do it unplugged. They just went into the studio and re-recorded some of their songs acoustically. Some worked, some didn't. Not a favourite album of mine. I very rarely play it, so he can go in there. I think it's the only one that I'd go is a bit meh, but it has got the spirits on there, and that's nice. But everything else is a little bit meh. Okay. Up next, I went to see them on this tour from 1992, Sleepwalking. It's the tour that I saw them at the Woughton St Milton Keynes, and it's the tour I nearly knocked a pint of beer out of Bob Cackley's hand. I turned round, clobbered him, nearly went, "Sorry, mate." Looked who it was, and I went, "Sorry, Bob." And he said, "It's all right, fella." What a nice man. He was a really nice man. Anyway, go back to the album. Sleepwalking, brilliant song. There's A Flood, one of my favourites. Stormy Weather. What's it called? The America one. Come on in, quick. Only in America. One of my favourite albums by Magnum. Love the cover as well. It's an excellent album, so it can slot just nicely in there. Okay, up next, 1994. Now, this was the last album of the part one, as I call it, of Magnum, because after this they split up. Hard Rain was formed, got two great albums, and then they reformed. Rock Art, I saw them on this tour as well. Some great tracks on here. The Tall Ships is my favourite. Hard-Hearted Woman is, and On Christmas Day. What's the rest of the album like? It's okay. It's very solid, so it can go in there. So we have a hiatus, or whatever, what you want to call it. Band split up, Hard Rain's form, make two reasonably good albums, and then Tony puts it all back together for 2002's Breath of Life. Yeah, it's got some good tracks on it. Breath of Life's good, and After the Rain. Hadn't really captured the thing. Bob sounded good on it, but I think things would get better. Of course they did. So I'm going to put it in as a mixed bag, because I do put it on from time to time and do enjoy it. 2004, we had another album, Brand New Morning. This has sort of gone down a bit in my estimations. The sound doesn't sound like Magnum, to be quite honest, although it has got some half decent tracks on it. Brand New Morning's good, and The Scarecrow, so I'm going to put it in mixed bag. Okay, up next, 2007. Now we're getting back on track for Princess Alice and the Broken Arrow. It's a pretty solid album. Princess Alice is back to more form, and it's sort of gone up in my estimations a little bit, so it can go in there. Up next, Into the Valley of the Moon King. Sorry, can you the words mixed up? This came out in 2009. Still going in the right direction for me. Where do we put it though? It's a very good album. I think I'll put it in there. Very good album. Okay, up next is The Visitation, which is a fantastic album. The Visitation's on there. And I do like that track. The album is pretty solid, so it can go in solid. There, just there, the top of the solids. That sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? Okay, up next, 2012's On the 13th Day. They sort of had a dip here. I don't know what went wrong. All the Dreamers is good. Shadowtown's good. Broken Promises. The others seemed a bit mediocre. I don't know what was going on, to be quite honest. But it is okay, so it can go in mixed the bag. Okay, 2014. I've got to get this. I'll never get this right. Escape from the Shadow of the Garden. Pretty good album. This is the start of that real solid period. But it can go in there. I really enjoy that album. Okay, up next was The Lost Road to Eternity from 2018. Another really strong album. We can go into solid. Just there. Got some good tracks on that one. I like the Sacred. I like Crying in the Rain. So up next, 2016, is the Sacred Blood Divine Lines, which is pretty good as well. The title track's excellent. Now, where do we put that? Again, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's a pretty solid album. It can go in there. 2020 Serpent Rings. Now we're getting back onto really awesome tracks. Up till then, it was my favourite album. So it can go at the bottom of the excellence. Takes us nicely around to 2022 for the Monsters Roar. Very strong album again. Up till then, again, they just seem to be getting better and better in this second period. A very, very strong album. And it goes in excellent. Just there. Which takes us nicely round to this year, 2023. Probably their last album, because we sadly lost Tony. But he's left us with an absolute gem. It's classic Magnum, classic songwriting. Bob's voice is really still strong. I love this album, and it's not just because it's Tony's last. I think this is genuinely their best album since The Wings of Heaven. And it only belongs in one place, doesn't it? In the top drawer. So there we have it. An album ranking of Magnum. Oh, cheers. So in the top drawer, we have got On the Stories Till His Night, Wings of Heaven, Vigilante, and Here Comes the Rain, the latest album. Excellent albums. We have got Chase the Dragon. We have got Sleepwalking. We have Monsters Roar. We have The Lost Road. We have The Moon King. And we have Serpent Rings. Solid albums. We've got Shadow Garden. We have got The Visitation. We have got The 11th Hour. We've got Magnum 2 and the debut Kingdom of Madness. Princess Alice. Sacred Lives. Get it right. Sacred Blood, Divine Lines. Rock Art. Mixed Bag, 13th Day, Breath of Life and Brand New Morning. And in the OK, Good Night LA and Keep the Night Fire Burning. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little quickie thrown in one. I'll be back tomorrow. Where we will have... What have we got tomorrow? I have to have a look. Oh, we've got Love Sculpture tomorrow. The band that Dave Edmunds was in before Rock Paul and his solo career. And we got one of Lee's favourite rockabilly albums tomorrow, and we've got Johnny Burnett and the Rock Trio for you tomorrow. So have a nice Sunday, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.